The silent appearance. The stars stretched endless across the black sea of space to the Galactic Empire. It was a night like any other. Fleets moved, traders traveled, and the Empire ruled with iron hand. No one expected change. No one expected terror. In the deep sector of Orion Fringe, Imperial scouts received strange signals. At first they thought it was a sensor error, just static in the void. But the signal kept coming, a low hum, steady and powerful. The scout commander frowned. He had seen many false alarms before, yet this one felt different. The energy wave was sharp, unnatural. It came not from a star, not from any known ship. It was as if the void itself was crying. Reports reached the nearest Imperial station. Admirals dismissed it. Just a ghost reading, they said, but the signal did not stop. It grew louder each hour, like a heartbeat of something hidden. Soon, ships across the sector felt the same vibration. Instruments flickered, navigation failed, engines stalled for seconds as if some force greater than technology was pressing against them. Whispers spread among the crews. "It is the return," some muttered. But return of what? Others asked. None had answers. The Empire had ruled for thousands of years. They believed humans were long gone, wiped from history, buried in myths. Old tales told of humans building monstrous war machines, titans that could split fleets in half. But the Empire had crushed them, or so they thought, on the outer rim. The scout fleet drifted closer to the source. The stars looked normal. Nothing moved. Yet the air inside the ships felt heavy. The crews held their breath as if space itself was waiting. Then it happened. Without warning, the void cracked like glass. A tear opened in the emptiness. Not a jump. Gate, not a wormhole, but something darker. Black against black, light bent and vanished, and from that wound in space, a shape began to emerge. At first it looked like a shadow, then it grew larger, metal glinting. A ship. No, not a ship. A monster of steel. Bigger than any dreadnought the Empire had ever seen. Its hull was dark, absorbing starlight, runes of old Earth carved into its armor. The scouts froze. They could not move, not speak. Even their comms went silent as the ship drifted fully into view. Its engines glowed faintly, but no flame, no heat. It moved like a ghost, yet the weight of its presence crushed the hearts of every watcher. The commander whispered, "Impossible," his words trembling. The record said humans had no ships left. They were erased. Yet here stood a titan, one warship, silent but alive. Alarms screamed in the Imperial station. Commanders rushed, trying to identify it, but their databases gave no match. No Empire design. No alien construction. Only one name repeated in old forbidden files. Earth Warship. Panic spread. The station ordered fleets to move. But the warship did not attack. It only floated. Its weapons silent, its gaze locked upon the Empire's border. Alien eyes across the Empire turned toward this sector. Fear grew in their hearts. If one ship could return from nothing, how many more were waiting in the void? A small patrol craft dared to approach, broadcasting messages of peace and warning. "Identify yourself," they cried. "State your purpose." The warship gave no answer, only silence, closer and closer. The patrol went until their signal cut. The ship vanished from all sensors, gone in a blink. The Empire lost another crew, and the warship still remained, silent, unmoving, watching. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire felt powerless. Their fleets could conquer worlds, but against this shadow from the past, they felt like insects. Rumors spread fast. Citizens whispered in markets. Soldiers muttered in barracks. Old stories were told again. The humans are back. Some said, "They will bring fire." Others warned, the Empire tried to silence them, but fear cannot be silenced. Inside the Great Council chamber, leaders argued. Some demanded immediate war. Others begged for negotiation, but deep down they all felt the same truth. No matter what choice they made, the warship had already changed everything. In the dark sky, the Titan turned slowly. Its weapons glowed faint, not in threat, but in reminder. The Empire's strongest fleets trembled, and the galaxy knew this was no illusion, no ghost story. This was real. And so began the first chapter of terror. Born from nothing, a human warship, silent, unyielding, and unforgettable, whispers across the council. The Empire had faced many enemies, rebellions, and uprisings, yet nothing compared to the silent terror now haunting the stars. The appearance of the Earth warship spread faster than light. Every world, every station, every fleet whispered about it. In the Grand Council chamber, thousands of voices filled the air. Alien leaders of many species shouted over each other. The chamber was a tower of power, its walls glowing with crystal light, but tonight it felt like a cage filled with fear. "We must destroy it," one warlord roared, his claws striking. "The stone table. It is only one ship. The Empire's fleets number in the thousands. We can crush it," others hissed in doubt. "Did you not hear? A patrol vanished without trace. Our best scout fleet was wiped by a single strike. You think thousands will make a difference? What if it destroys us all?" The Emperor, cloaked in silver, sat silent on his high throne. His eyes cold, he listened to the noise, yet he said nothing. His silence only made the fear grow. Far away, rumors spread through the common people in markets and spaceports. Citizens whispered that the old human legends were true. They were never gone, one trader told another. They waited in the void, now they have returned. Soldiers too felt unease. Some remembered stories from their ancestors, tales of human bravery, human cruelty, and human machines of war. To them, the Titan warship was not a myth anymore. It was a shadow that followed them even in dreams. The council continued its debate. One voice argued for peace, a scholar with trembling hands. "Send envoys. Show them we do not wish for war. If humans survived, perhaps they only want peace. Perhaps they are not the monsters we fear," a general spat in anger. "Peace with ghosts? No, this is a weapon of terror. And where there is one, there will be more. If we wait, they will rise again, and then no empire will remain." As they argued, fleets were already moving across the Empire borders. Commanders received urgent orders. Watch the Titan. Do not provoke. Prepare for engagement. Confusion reigned. No one wanted to be the first to face it on a distant moon. A spy guild whispered among themselves. "The humans planned this," one said. "They vanished on purpose. They let us grow weak. Now they return with stronger weapons." Another laughed nervously. "Or perhaps this is only a scout, and the real fleet is still hidden." The room fell silent. The thought was too terrifying. Back, in the chamber, an advisor brought forward old forbidden files. The records were dust-covered, sealed for centuries, but now opened again. The council stared in disbelief. The reports spoke of the last war with Earth, of how humanity fought with fury unmatched, of how they built titans that never surrendered, and, worse, the record said only a fraction of those ships had ever been found. The rest had vanished into the void. The Emperor finally spoke, his voice calm but heavy. "We stand at the edge of history," he said. "A single ship has shaken our empire. Imagine what an entire fleet could do. We cannot ignore this. We must prepare." The chamber grew silent. His words echoed. No one dared to speak. They all knew the truth. Out in the stars, the warship still floated, silent, unmoving, like a predator watching prey. Smaller ships gave. At distance, none dared come close again. On frontier worlds, citizens prayed to ancient gods. Some prayed for deliverance. Others prayed the humans would bring justice against the Empire's cruelty. Rebels hiding in shadows began to rise with new courage. "The humans will fight for us," they told villages. "Stand ready. The Empire's time is ending." And people listened. Hope and fear mixed together in the Empire's military command. Admirals studied maps, simulations, and weapons. None gave them comfort. The warship's energy reading was beyond anything they had seen. It was like comparing a candle to a star. One commander whispered, "What if this is not their strongest?" The room fell into silence again. Days passed, yet the warship never moved. Its silence was louder than 1,000 cannons. The Empire lived in dread, waiting for its choice. In the chamber, whispers turned into shouts, shouts into fear, and fear into chaos, and in the shadow of that chaos, the Earth warship waited, reminding all of them that the age of myths was not over, it had just begun. The Empire's test. The Galactic Empire could not live in silence forever. The Council's whispers grew into demands. They could not allow one ship to make the galaxy tremble. Pride and fear clashed, and at last, the Emperor gave the order. Test. An entire battle group was formed. Hundreds of warships gathered near the Orion fringe. Their engines burned bright, their weapons charged. The commanders stood tall, telling their crews this would be easy. "It is one ship," they said. "We are the Empire, nothing can resist us," soldiers cheered with forced voices. Deep inside they felt a shadow of doubt. The old stories clawed at their thoughts, but orders were orders. The battle group advanced, spreading in formation, their sensors locked on the Titan. The Earth warship floated in silence, its hull absorbing starlight, unmoved, unshaken. The fleet. Admiral spoke through comms, his voice hard. "Unknown vessel, by order of the Galactic Empire, you will identify yourself. Failure to respond will be taken as hostile intent." The message echoed through space, no reply came. Silence was the only answer. Minutes passed. The Admiral's patience broke. "Very well," he growled. "Fire warning shots." A line of alien warships opened fire, beams of energy cut across, the void exploding against the Titan's hull, but nothing happened. No burn, no mark, no damage. The warship did not even move. Fear whispered among the crews, but the Admiral shouted, "Increase fire, break its shield." Dozens of ships unleashed their full power. The void lit with flames, space shook with thunder. Yet when the fire cleared, the Titan remained untouched. Then the warship moved, slowly, turning its massive body. Its front cannon began to glow. Not bright, not loud, only steady like the heart of a dying star. The fleet fell silent. Every commander froze. One whispered, "What is that?" Another whispered, "A weapon." And then it fired. A single beam of light shot forward, not wide, not scattered, just one focused lance. It touched the Empire's leading dreadnought. And in the blink of an eye, the dreadnought was gone, erased. Nothing remained but drifting ash. Panic erupted. The fleet tried to scatter, but the beam moved again. Another ship vanished, then another. The warship did not miss. Each strike ended a life. Each strike ended a vessel. "Fall back. Fall back," the Admiral screamed, but his voice broke under the chaos. Ships crashed into each other as they fled. Some tried to hide behind asteroids. Some jumped into hyperspace, but many never made it. The Titan did not chase, it did not need to. It stood alone, and hundreds of ships lay destroyed around it. The survivors limped back to the Empire, broken, bleeding, their reports filled with terror. "Our weapons had no effect," they wrote. "Their fire is unstoppable. One strike, one kill, no shield can resist in the council chamber." Silence ruled once more. Every leader stared at the reports, their hands trembling, their voices lost. The test had failed, and worse, it had revealed the truth. This was not just a ship, it was a predator. The Emperor's mask cracked. For the first time, his voice shook. "One warship destroyed a fleet," he whispered. "Imagine what an armada could do." Throughout the Empire, the story spread. Soldiers who survived told their families, families told their neighbors, and soon the galaxy knew. The Empire had tested the human warship, and the Empire had lost. On frontier worlds, rebels cheered, believing this was the beginning of freedom. "The Empire bleeds," they shouted. "The humans have returned." Hope burned bright in their eyes, but for the Empire the flame was only fear. Every fleet commander now questioned their orders. Every soldier wondered if their next battle would be their last. And still, the warship floated in silence. It did not chase. It did not speak. It simply waited, as if daring the Empire to try again. The Empire had tested it, and the result was clear. Terror had returned from nothing, and no one knew how to stop it. The forgotten past. The Empire could not hide the truth anymore. The council chambers echoed with fear. The warship had destroyed a fleet, and yet it remained unmoved, silent, as if waiting. In secret vaults beneath the imperial capital, dusty archives were opened, records that had been sealed for centuries, forbidden to all but the highest lords. Scholars unrolled ancient scrolls, cracked old data crystals, and what they found turned their blood cold. The humans were not a weak race erased by the Empire's hand. They were builders of titans, engineers, of machines beyond imagination. Records told of the great human fleets, ships so vast they could eclipse moons, ships so strong they could fight entire armadas alone. The Empire had tried to destroy them long ago, in the War of Extinction. A war that was spoken of only in whispers. The humans had fought with fury. They refused to kneel, they refused to break. Even when planets burned, they built more warships, each stronger than the last. The Empire had called them demons. Yet even demons had limits, or so they thought. In the final battles, the Empire claimed victory, declaring humans extinct, but the records told a different story. Not all ships were destroyed. Many vanished into the void, hidden in dark corners of the galaxy, carried by secret drives, lost to time. And now, one of them had returned. The scholars trembled as they read. The files spoke of Titan-class warships, ships with weapons powered by stars, ships that could bend energy itself. The ship seen in Orion Fringe matched the descriptions perfectly. The Council grew restless. Some shouted for total war, others begged for surrender, and still others whispered the darkest thought of all. What if this is only the beginning? Rumors spread like fire. In every city, every spaceport. The people began to question their rulers. Old songs of humans were sung again in hidden corners. Songs of freedom, songs of rebellion, on one frontier planet. An elder told children the legend. The humans were not destroyed. They became shadows. They waited for the day to rise again, and when they return, no chain can hold them. The children listened with wide eyes, hope glowing in their hearts. But in the Empire's military command, hope was replaced with despair. Generals stared at maps, at charts of fleets. None of it mattered. The Titan had proven it could not be stopped by numbers. In secret meetings, spies reported strange signals near other regions. Faint traces, similar to the energy that had announced the Titan's arrival. Whispers spread that more warships might awaken soon. The Emperor summoned his advisors, his face pale beneath his crown. The past we buried now rises against us, he said. We cannot fight legends with pride. We must prepare for war unlike any we have known. But even as he spoke, the Empire cracked inside. Governors feared rebellion. Soldiers doubted their leaders, and merchants dreamed of a future without imperial chains. All because of one warship, silent, watching, waiting. In the great academies, young cadets asked their teachers about humans, and the teachers had no answers, only silence. For even knowledge had been erased long ago in the shadows of the galaxy. Rebels gathered, sending secret signals into the void. If you are humans, hear us, they begged. Help us break the Empire, and we will stand with you. The humans did not answer. The Titan warship remained silent, but its silence was louder than any promise. Meanwhile, more ancient records were uncovered. One spoke of a forgotten oath. Humans had sworn never to kneel to the Council, never to obey the Empire. They had sworn that if their kind fell, their warships would remain, waiting for the day to rise again. And now, that day had come. The Empire trembled. For the forgotten past was no longer forgotten. It had returned, forged in steel, glowing with power, and it would not rest. And so, the galaxy stood at the edge of fear. One warship had reminded them of the truth. The humans were not gone. They had only been waiting, and the Empire's nightmare had only just begun. The failed negotiation. Fear was spreading faster than the Empire could control. One warship had already broken fleets and shattered pride. The Council knew they had to act. If they used more force, they risked total destruction. If they did nothing, their citizens would lose all faith, so they tried something they had not done in centuries. They tried to talk. A golden envoy ship was sent, painted with symbols of peace, escorted by a small fleet at safe distance. Inside it carried ambassadors from different races, wise voices chosen to calm storms. Their task was simple. Approach the Titan and deliver the Council's words. The galaxy watched. From hidden cameras and from whispers across comm channels, billions of eyes followed the envoy as it drifted toward the silent Titan. The message was broadcast. Unknown vessel, we come in peace. We are the Galactic Council. We ask for dialogue. We seek understanding. If you are from Earth, we wish to speak. The words floated into the void, but no answer came. The ambassadors tried again, their voices trembling but firm. We respect your strength. We recognize your survival. We wish no war. Please, speak. With us, tell us your purpose. Still silence. The Titan did not move. Its weapons did not glow, but its silence weighed heavier than any cannon. The small fleet grew restless. Commanders whispered to each other. Some begged to retreat. Others demanded to push closer, but orders were clear. They had to wait for a response. Hours passed. The envoy drifted near the Titan's shadow, its golden surface reflecting against the dark hull of the warship. To those watching, it looked like a candle before a mountain. Then, without warning, the envoy's signal cut. One moment it was broadcasting, the next moment it was gone. No explosion, no cry, no debris, simply erased. The golden ship and everyone inside had vanished. The small fleet panicked, alarms screamed. Captains tried to send rescue, but their comms went dead as well. Ships spun in confusion. Some engines failed. And then just as suddenly as it began, the Titan turned slightly, and the silence lifted. The remaining ships fled, terrified. None dared look back when the news reached the council. The chamber erupted in chaos. They killed our envoys, one shouted. No, they erased them. Another cried. This is war. A warlord screamed. We cannot trust ghosts. But beneath the shouting, another truth was clear. The warship had not fired a weapon. It had not unleashed destruction. It had simply removed them from existence in silence without effort. Citizens across the empire rioted. Markets filled with fear. Some begged the humans to save them. Others cursed the empire for failing to protect them. Rebellions flared, and the emperor's grip weakened. In hidden corners, rebels whispered louder. The humans do not speak because they do not need to. Their silence is our freedom. The empire fears them, and so hope is born. For the empire, the silence was worse than battle. War they understood, silence they did not. Admirals gathered again, their maps useless, their simulations pointless. One spoke with shaking hands. Negotiation failed, fleets failed, what remains? The emperor's face was pale, his voice cracked. We wait, we watch, and we pray they do not strike again. But waiting was not peace. Waiting was fear, and fear was tearing the empire apart. The Titan floated still, unmoved, unbroken, its presence louder than any weapon, its silence deeper than any threat. The failed negotiation became a story told across the stars, not as a message of hope, but as a reminder. The humans did not come to talk. They came to remind the galaxy of terror. And in the shadows of that terror, rebellions grew. Soldiers doubted, leaders crumbled, and the empire understood one truth. Silence could kill faster than any war, and the Titan was silence made real. The empire's breaking point, the empire was breaking from inside. Worlds rioted, fleets refused orders, and whispers of rebellion grew louder each day. The council had failed to silence the fear. The failed negotiation had turned the warship into a legend, and legends spread faster than armies. The emperor called for one last effort. He summoned every commander, every general, every admiral. The order was clear. Gather all fleets, gather all weapons, build an armada unlike any the galaxy had seen. If we fall fighting, he declared from across the stars. Warships poured in, dreadnoughts, cruisers, destroyers, carriers, each one carrying thousands of soldiers, engineers, and pilots. Soon the sky above the imperial capital burned with engines. A sea of metal stretched as far as eyes could see. Millions of lives gathered for one purpose, to destroy the Titan. The council chamber turned into a war room. Maps glowed, strategies were drawn. Generals spoke of flanks and traps, of overwhelming fire, of crushing one ship with numbers. Yet beneath their words, their eyes trembled, for they all remembered what had happened to the first fleet. The Titan waited at the edge of Empire space, unmoving, silent as if it knew what was coming. The Armada launched, thousands of ships flying in perfect formation, their engines bright like suns, their weapons charged. The galaxy watched, billions prayed, some for victory, some for freedom, some simply for survival. As the Armada approached, the Titan stirred, Its massive hull shifted slightly. Lights flickered. Across its surface, runes of earth glowing faintly. The silence pressed harder like a storm building before the strike. The fleet admiral gave the order. Form the net, and the ships spread in a circle, surrounding the Titan from all sides, weapons aimed, shields raised. The Empire believed numbers would save them. Thousands of ships against one. An ocean against a rock. The admiral raised his hand. Fire. The sky exploded. Beams of plasma, missiles, railguns, energy storms. The void turned white with fire. The Titan vanished behind the storm. Every ship poured its power. The galaxy shook with thunder. Minutes passed, the fire raged, but when it cleared, the Titan still floated, untouched, unmoved like the void itself. A wave of despair spread through the fleet. Soldiers froze at their stations. Commanders shouted in panic. Increase power. Reload. Fire again, the Titan responded slowly. Its main cannon glowed, brighter than ever before like a newborn sun, and then it fired. A single beam cut across space, carving through ships as if they were paper. Entire squadrons vanished, shields collapsed, dreadnoughts split in half, screams filled the comms. The armada broke. The Titan fired again. Not in rage, not in haste, but in cold silence. Each blast ending hundreds of lives. Each blast tearing the Empire apart. Ships tried to retreat, but the net they had formed trapped themselves. Collisions turned into chaos. Some tried to jump into hyperspace, but their drives failed, as if the Titan's presence alone denied escape. Within minutes, the largest armada in history was reduced. To wreckage, burning metal scattered across the void. Survivors drifted helpless, their cries lost in silence. The Admiral's flagship tried to rally the fleet, but the Titan aimed once more, and the flagship was gone, erased like dust. Back in the council chamber, leaders watched in horror, their grand plan destroyed before their eyes. The Emperor sank into his throne, his voice broken. We are undone. Rebels across the Empire cheered. The Titan has broken them, they cried. The humans have returned, hope burned brighter. But for the Empire, it was the end of power. The breaking point had come, and the galaxy knew it. The Titan did not chase the survivors. It did not burn their worlds. It simply turned, drifting slowly away, leaving silence behind. Yet its silence was louder than any victory. The Empire had given everything, and lost everything. And now, all that remained was fear. The breaking point had come, and the Empire would never be the same again. The unknown message: the Empire lay broken, its greatest armada reduced to ash, its fleet scattered, its people in chaos. The Titan warship had not only crushed their strength, it had crushed their spirit. Yet in its silence the galaxy trembled, for no one knew what the humans wanted. The warship had not conquered worlds. It had not claimed thrones. It had only destroyed when challenged and then drifted in silence. The Emperor sat in his darkened hall, his crown heavy, his hands shaking. He had ruled with iron for centuries, but now he was only a shadow. Why do they not finish us, he whispered. Why do they wait? No one could answer. Then, one night, as the wreckage of the last battle floated cold in space, the Titan stirred. Its runes glowed brighter. Its engines hummed low across the galaxy. Sensors lit up. Alarms rang. Everyone turned their eyes to the void. For the first time, the Titan spoke, not with sound, not with words, but with a signal, ancient and powerful, broadcast into every channel, every world, every mind that could hear. The message was short, but it carried the weight of thunder. Earth remembers. The words shook the council chambers. They echoed in the hearts of soldiers and rebels, citizens and rulers. Earth remembers. A whisper that turned into a storm. What did it mean? Some asked. Did it mean revenge? Did it mean war? Did it mean humanity was returning? No one knew, but the fear it brought was enough. The Emperor collapsed on his throne, his advisors trembling. If Earth remembers, he muttered, then our empire is finished. On frontier worlds, rebels shouted with joy. Earth remembers, and so do we. Banners rose, uprisings spread. The empire's grip broke even faster. Scholars searched old records, digging into ruins and myths. They found fragments of the oath humans once swore, that they would never forget the chains placed upon them, that one day they would rise again and bring judgment to those who enslaved. The message was not only a warning, it was a promise. The Titan did not linger. After sending the signal, it drifted once more, its engines flaring softly, and then, as suddenly as it had come, it vanished into the void, disappearing without trace, leaving only silence behind. But the silence was different now. Before it was fear. Now it was expectation. The galaxy held its breath, wondering where the Titan would appear next, wondering if more would come. Rumors filled the stars. Some claimed other signals had been detected in distant systems, faint echoes of Titans waking. Others swore they saw flashes of light in forgotten regions, whispers of fleets rising from the dark. The Empire could not stop the collapse. Planets declared independence. Citizens rebelled. Soldiers deserted. All because of a single warship. The Titan had not needed to conquer. It had only needed to remind them. Earth remembers. The galaxy understood the meaning. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was not broken. They had been waiting, building, watching, and now their return was certain. No one knew when, no one knew where, but all knew one thing. The Empire's age was over, and so the legend was born. From nothing came terror, from silence came fear, and from fear came change. The Earth warship had appeared, destroyed, warned, and vanished. But its message remained, carved into the hearts of billions. The humans were coming back, and the galaxy would never forget.